The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for your participation to today's webinar. This is Jason from Yeastar Training Team. Glad to be here with you guys. And today's actually the first day of our YSCT training. And after this training, you guys will see that on our website. We actually have the place for your application. So, in other words, you guys can take this training. And after the training, you will also be able to participate in our online test. Now, once you pass our test, we're gonna give you the certificate, of course. Okay. Anyway, that was a brief introduction about this training. So I guess it's time for us to jump in and let's get started. Our YSCT training, we're actually going to mainly focus on the Yeastar S-Series PBX. So for today's webinar, we're going to talk about the part 1, so the basic configuration of the S-Series PBX. Okay, so let's check this out. Now, for you guys, if this is the first time for you to take a Yeastar S-Series PBX, that's pretty good because we're going to talk about lots of details about the S-Series PBX. Okay. First of all, our S-Series PBX, we have several different models. We have S412, S20 for micro business users. We also have S50 for medium-sized users. And we have S100 and S300 for some solutions. So that's all 5 models we have for the S-Series PBX. And all of our S-Series PBX, absolutely, this is hardware-based on-premise solution. And it's a pretty good solution because all these models, they're totally modular designed, which means you can use a screwdriver, you can open that box, and you can take our modules for the customization. So it's a very flexible solution. Okay, and now I guess it's time for us to start talking about the configuration. Okay, so if this is the first time for you guys to log into the S-Series PBX, so we probably get a question. How do we log into the system? Pretty easy. You know what? If this is a brand new system, you take the box out of the package. You just flip it, and you will see on the back side, actually on the bottom side, there's a sticker. And on the sticker, you will see that we give you guys a default IP address and username plus the password. So that default IP address is the place where you can log into the system. So how do we log into the system? We can actually just use the default IP, and you guys can see the default IP address is 192.168.5.150. Okay, so that's the default IP. Now, it's pretty easy. So for the first time logging, this S-Series PBX, all of our models are using the same default IP address. Besides that, all of our S-Series PBX is by default setting is the interface, the network interfaces, you will see that we have LAN port and WAN port. So by default setting, it's LAN port. You can simply take a cable, connect your computer with the LAN port. That's exactly what you're going to do. And the next thing, guys, don't forget to change your don't forget to change your IP address of your computer. Something like this. I'm going to show you guys. So the first step is don't forget to change your IP address. So go to your network settings, click on properties. Let's click on IP version 4. And over here to change your IP, because I'm not so sure what IP address you're using currently on your computer. So just make sure, actually nothing else you need to change. Just change the network segment, okay? Make sure this number is number 5, okay? Keep it as same as what you have on your IP PBX, okay? Then you will be able to log into your system. Now, perhaps you guys want to know, hey, you're using a different IP because I changed my IP address before. That's why I have a different IP. But for you guys, if this is the first time, don't forget to change your IP, okay? So change your computer's IP, then you will be able to use the default IP address to log into your S-Series PBX. After that, you will see something like this. And by the way, guys, you can use any browser to log into your system. But to be honest, usually I suggest you guys choose Google Chrome because that's better, that's more stable. So of course, you can use some other browsers. That's also cool. So using your browser log into your system, you will see something like this. Your connection, it's not private. It's kind of like alert or something. Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. You can just skip it because our system, we're using the HTTP because you just type in your IP address directly. And our system mechanism is it's going to redirect from HTTP to HTTPS plus the port, which is 8088. So we're just like I mentioned, we're going to redirect you to the HTTPS. Now, absolutely, browsers are required for the certificate if you use HTTPS. But the point is, this is the S-Series PBX. It's a hardware device. It's not a website. That's why here you got a notification, but you can just ignore it. Okay. So we can simply just click on Advanced and proceed to this IP address. Then there you go. So right now we're just in the system. Okay. So in the system, this is now today's live demo. I'm going to use the S1 handler, as you guys can see here on my right hand here. That's the place where you can change the system language. Okay, so for today's live demo, I'm going to use English. Absolutely. And here's your username and password. So still remember how you flip the box and you will see there's a sticker. On the sticker, we're going to have the default username and the password. So the default username is just admin. There's no capitalization, just lowercase, all letters lowercase. And the password is just password, PASSWORD. That's the default setting. I'm sorry, guys. On this device, I'm going to use a different password because I changed it before. Okay, so let me just log into the system first. Then we're going to keep going. Oops, I'm sorry. All right, there you go. Now we're in the system. Okay, so in the system, let's have a quick look on the system. Like I mentioned, the S-Series PBX is a very user-friendly solution for SMB users. One big point is we got a very simplified web GUI system. So it's very easy. You don't have to get a software to log in or something. You can use your browser directly. And plus, the interface is very simplified. So you can see lots of items are just posted here. And click on the left-hand corner. This is going to be your main menu. So everything, we just put it here. All right. Now, for today's webinar, you know, there are lots of features on the system. So I'm not going to talk about every single feature for today because time's limited. So for today, I'm going to talk about the basic configuration of your system and the basic configuration of your extensions. Okay, so let's get started. Now, absolutely, in the future, if you guys try to configure the system by yourself, you can use the configuration wizard. We give you guys several steps. You can just follow our, instruction. You can just figure this out by yourself, step by step. But like I said, this is our YSCT training. We're not going to talk about the configuration wizard. We're going to talk about more details one by one. So let's get started with settings directly. Okay. So first thing I'm going to talk about, think about it. This system is IP-based. It's not an analog system. It's not a digital system. It's completely IP-based system. So when you try to make the IP-based system work, absolutely, the first step is going to be the network configuration. You're going to make sure the system got a correct configuration of networks, and then we can put the system in our local network environment, right? So the first thing is click on settings and find the system setting. Go for the network. Click on that. And you guys will see this is going to be the place for our first step. So for the first step, we have the basic settings of the network settings. That's exactly what we're going to do right now, okay? Sorry. So right now, here we have host name. You can change host name, absolutely. It depends on you. So this is just the host name of your PBX in this local network in the future. Okay. I don't think it's necessary for us to change it, so we can keep it this way. And also we get a mode. Now the mode is very interesting because if you got a brand new system, you will see that by default setting, the mode is single mode. Now the single mode actually means there's only one network interface is available, which is LAN port. That's by system default setting. Okay, so you got a new system, you will see something like this. Okay, now if we select single mode, that's exactly what we have right now. So we take the cable, connect LAN port with our computer, and we start our configuration, right? So now for the LAN port, you got three options. Three different options for LAN port configuration. You can set your LAN port as DHCP, which basically means you're not going to set a static IP address for your LAN port. Instead, your LAN port gonna get a dynamic IP address from your DHCP server. Mostly, it's gonna be your router in the local network, right? So absolutely, we support DHCP if you prefer. And we also have static IP address. Now, this is very popular. Mostly customers, end users, they're going to choose static IP address here because they prefer to have a static IP on the LAN port. Then they will be able to use this static IP to log into the system, like what I'm doing right now. So configure a static IP address, drop it here. And also don't forget to set your DNS. Okay, DNS server is also necessary. Otherwise, you don't have the network access. Now, about this part, absolutely, it depends on your local network environment. Now, for example, I put this S100 in my local network environment, which is Yeastar Office right now. So you guys can see that my DNS server, I just use, 114.114.114.114. Absolutely, you guys can use something else like 8.8.8.8. That's flexible, depends on you. Okay, just make sure you have network access. That's it. So this is about the single mode. That's exactly what we have at the very beginning. Besides that, we also can set this LAN port as triple PoE. This is also supported. But to be honest, guys, this is not popular at all. Because, triple PoE, that kind of like the way how you get the network service from the service provider, right? So currently, I put my system in my local network, which means I get the internet access from the router, right? So I get the service on the router directly. Then I can configure a, private IP for this LAN port. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. But if I select triple PoE, if I select triple PoE, that basically means I'm gonna need to connect this LAN port with the service provider side directly to get the internet access directly. And you guys know the triple PoE is not popular at all. This is very old-fashioned way for people to get network connection. So not popular, but anyway, we can support it. So if you need it, you can still use it. Okay, and so this is about the single mode. And also we support dual mode. To be honest, guys, single mode is not very popular. That's just at the very beginning what you can do with your system. Now, after that, perhaps you guys may change your system to dual mode or bridge mode. Now, let's take a look at the dual mode first. If you select dual mode, one thing very interesting is you basically just activate your system's LAN port and WAN port independently. Now, in other words, you're going to have two ports, and these two ports are totally working individually. So you can have your LAN port configuration. You can set a static IP address for a LAN port. You can also choose DHCP mode for your WAN port. That's totally available. It depends on you. But the point is, you will also need to figure out the default interface. This is very important because right now we have two available ports for the traffic, right? So talking about traffic, there's incoming traffic and outgoing traffic. Now, by default setting is LAN port. That, in other words, to simplify this is kind of like your default port is just LAN port, which means your LAN port, it's going to be the port to handle both incoming and outgoing traffic. But your WAN port will just handle the incoming traffic. So your WAN port will not going to send any traffic out. So it depends on you. If sometimes you're going to create a different, static route, you're going to need to change the default interface here. Okay. Now, we probably get a question is, what kind of circumstance are we going to take the dual mode? To be honest, dual mode is not very popular. It depends on you. Sometimes if you have a SIP trunk, we're talking about IP-based system. So if you have a SIP trunk and network services are separately provided by the service provider. Because in some country, the service provider, they give you SIP trunk service like that. For example, in Singapore, you can get a network service, you can get SIP trunk, but the service provider gives you two cables. They're going to provide you two channels, one for your network, another one for your SIP trunk. And they call this as a fiber trunk. So absolutely, you're going to two traffics, right? You need to make sure your system get available ports for two different traffics. That's how we make it work. But like I said, it depends, okay? And also we can set our system as bridge mode. This is the most popular way. If you get a SIP trunk service, with your network service through the same cable. So absolutely, you can just set your system by bridge mode. Now, which basically means you just connect your LAN port and WAN port, and your LAN port gonna handle the upstream traffic, and your WAN port gonna handle the downstream traffic. Then you set your system as bridge mode. It's pretty popular. So, for example, you can connect a cable on your LAN port, which is on the other hand is connected with your router or switch anyway. Then you can put another cable, connect your WAN port to somewhere else, maybe a switch, maybe some other devices. Very popular. Okay. So this is about the network basic network settings. What's more, here we also have a cellular network solution. Now, cellular network solution, this is kind of like a network backup solution. I mean, if you prefer to have this solution, you will need to fix a 4G LTE module plus the 4G SIM card on your system. Then you're going to be able to use your 4G data to work as the cellular network as a backup solution, like I said. But if you set a failover, if you choose the mode as failover, so don't forget to click on ICMP detection. Now go to your ICMP detection, enable this, because we're going to use the ICMP detection server to I'm sorry, guys, to detect our network connection. So if there's something wrong with the network connection, our system can automatically switch from the cable connection to your cellular connection for the network. Okay. Anyway, this is just a backup solution. If you're gonna use it, don't forget to insert a 4G LTE module plus the 4G SIM card. Okay. All right. So this is going to be the step one. Now, after the step one, what is step two? Step two, when you try to put your system in your local network, you're trying to make it work for telephony solution. Absolutely, you're going to need to make sure everything has the correct date and time. So it's not a big deal, to be honest, because right now we have network access. So we can click on date and time here, and we can choose sync with NTP server. We're going to automatically get the date and time from NTP server, right? So right now, just don't forget to select your time zone. For example, right now I'm in China, so I'm going to select the time zone of China. For the daylight saving time, we're not going to use it in China, so I'm going to disable this. That's pretty easy. But if you don't have network access, you can also set up the date and time manually. This is also supported, so you can set a date, set a time by yourself. Okay. But pretty sure I believe it's very popular to sync with NTP server because mostly the first step we're going to do for the system is not date and time. It's absolutely the network settings. So once you figure out the network settings, if you have the network connection, you're going to sync with NTP server automatically. Okay, so this is going to be step two. Now, what is step three? Step three, I guess we're going to need to set the email because you know what? You guys do remember when we try to log into the system, there's a notification. I mean, there's a sentence just tells you, do you forget your password or something? Still remember? So if you forgot your password, you can click on that one, right? So our system gonna recover your password by an email, right? So here we get a question is talking about the recovery email. Absolutely, we're going to need to make sure our system has available mailbox to send email out. And also, simultaneously, we need to make sure there's available mailbox to receive the notification mail sent by the system. So this email, guys, right now I'm talking about here is going to be the SMTP server and POP server. Actually, I'm going to talk about, in other words, this is the place I'm talking about the mailbox for sending an email out. Okay, so in the future, on our PBX, we can also support some other features. For example, like voicemail to email, fax to email, something like this. So these features are all talking about how to send email out. So we need to send the SMTP server here. This configuration is pretty easy. You can simply just drop your mailbox here. Let's see a Gmail. Okay, so this is going to be my Gmail. We can just drop it here, and you will see the SMTP server and POP server. Automatically, we just get it from the Gmail. So if you don't have the server information, not a big deal. You can just jump into your mailbox, click on mailbox setting. You can get the port. You can get the server port, server information, put it here. Then don't forget to enter your email address manually again, and also the password to authorize this mailbox connected with your PBX. Okay, then click on test. So if this is well configured, you're going to be able to receive a test mail sent by the system. Absolutely. So this is about the mailbox to send an email out. Now, what about the email? What about the mailbox to receive a notification mail, like a recovery my password? Well, it's over here. Click on this icon. That's your super admin's, account. You can go for the My Settings, and you guys will see this is a place where you can change your password, the super administrator's password, and also your mailbox. And drop the mailbox here, and this is gonna be the mailbox for password recovery. So in the future, if you forget your password, you can receive the recovery email in this mailbox. Okay. So basically, the system is pretty easy. It's a handy system, guys. Not so complicated. If you're familiar with our system, it's very easy for you to figure out the configuration. Okay, so let's get back here and keep going. Now, this is going to be the second step for the basic configuration. Now, the third step for the basic configuration before we get started, because next I'm going to talk about how to create an extension. But before we create an extension, still something we need to talk about a little bit. For example, go for the general settings first, and scrolling down a little bit, you guys will see extension preferences. So before we get started with extension creation, we need to figure out the number range of the extension numbers. So this is a place where we can set the number range of your extensions. So for user extensions, we can support we can support 1 digit to maximum 7 digits. That's our number range. It's a huge range. You can choose any figure you prefer, put it here as your extension number. Okay. And also we can support some other ranges, but I'm not going to talk about it here for today. Some other things about some other features. So we're probably going to talk about these things tomorrow and after tomorrow. Okay. So this is about the extension preferences. This is the first step before we get started with the extension settings. And the next step is we're going to also need to set the system prompt, because you cannot make sure every single user in my office, they're going to understand English. Some people, they don't speak English. They understand Arabic, but they don't understand English. Or maybe they speak Mandarin, they don't speak English. So right now we have internet access, so we can simply just click on download online prompt. Now this online prompt, or this system prompt, this is actually makes the notification prompt played by the system to our internal users. So it's different languages, absolutely. Now, in this list, you can get your prompt. So it's pretty easy for you. For example, if you want to get French, you can just get French over here. Then we just get French here. Okay. And now you can choose one of them as your default language. And as for others, I'm going to talk about others later, because later for the extension configuration, I will show you guys how do we make use of different languages. Okay, so I guess that was all for the part 1, the basic configuration for the system. Now let's go for part 2, the extension creation. So when you try to create an extension for the system, absolutely, we're going to need to make use of the system. Then we're going to build up the system with extensions. So click on extensions. This is the place where you can create your extension. Simply just click on add. This is how you create one extension user. Okay. Now, click on add. We're going to have this. And you guys know that our system, we can support SIP with no doubt. Absolutely. All kinds of IP phones are totally support SIP. So for the type of extension, we can support SIP. Besides that, we can also support IAX and FXS. And the point is, you can check these 3 types of extensions simultaneously. So which means you can have multiple terminals with one extension number. Okay, but if you choose FXS, don't forget to select the port, okay, because FXS is analog phone. So if you're going to plug in an analog phone on your system, don't forget to assign a specific port for this analog extension, okay. And about the IAX, it's actually not very popular at all. I think this is a protocol, specific protocol from the asterisk. Okay, it's a very old-fashioned. I mean, only asterisk system using this protocol, so it's not very popular. But some customers or sometimes we have IEX extensions. We can use this. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Now, next part, it will be your extension number. With no doubt, automatically we just get the extension number here. We got a caller ID. Normally we just keep our caller ID as same as our extension number. It's just the same thing, right? We don't want to get ourselves be confused. Then we have registration number. The registration name. The registration name is pretty important because this is going to be the username for your IP phone registration. Because here on our PBX, it's kind of like we just create a user account. Then for the IP phone registration, absolutely we're going to need to log into the IP phone's user interface. We're going to use the registration name and the registration password to register the extension on this PBX. Of course. And talking about registration password, here you are. This is the registration password. By our system default setting, it's a complex password. And if you guys want to change the password, our system will also require you to use a complex password because for security reason. Okay. Then we have caller ID name. So caller ID name, you can make a customization absolutely. Now, for example, I wanna show my internal user, my colleagues, with my caller ID name, like my name, Jason New. So I can just type in my name here. The next time somebody receive a call from me and they will see on the screen, it will post Jason New plus 7002. Okay. And we have concurrent registrations. This is pretty interesting, guys. The concurrent registrations is actually one of our features, which is called SIP forking. Now, on our Yeastar system, this is the IP-based system, absolutely. So IP-based system can support SIP forking. And on our system, our SIP forking feature, we can support maximum 5 SIP devices to register on same extension number. So right now, you will see that I can create extension number 7002, but I will be able to have 5 SIP users plus 1 IEX and 1 FXS devices. So totally, I'm going to be able to have 7 devices by sharing the same extension number. But I mean, nobody's going to do this, but it's just an example, okay? So for this concurrent registration, sometimes it's very popular, like, for Yeastar solution, today we have our PBX. We also have our UC application, which is called Yeastar Linkus. So you guys can get Yeastar Linkus from Google Play, from App Store. You can also get this PC version from our website. Now, this concurrent registration, you can turn it to 3. Now, which means now you can register your desktop phone on this. You can also register your Linkus mobile on this and Linkus desktop on this. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Now, next part for user information. The user information basically is the information of this specific extension user. So in the future, if this extension user is 7002, he or she preferred to make some customization settings for this extension. Like I want to change my, a voicemail destination, something. So I will also be able to log into the system, right? Now, if I'm trying to log into the system as a specific user and not as a super administrator, I'm going to use this password. So this is a default password. You guys can see as it's just password. It's just pass plus the extension number. So I'm going to be able to use this password plus my extension number to log into the system. But nothing else I can do except my personal setting. We can also set an email address here. Now, if you drop an email here, it will be very helpful if you're going to enable some features like voicemail to email. So if I enable voicemail to email, then I will be able to receive my voicemail through my mailbox. Of course, we can also set the mobile number. So if I set a mobile number, in the future, some kind of notification, I will be able to receive it by SMS, short messages. Okay, and time for us to talk about the prompt language. Okay, so for prompt language, if I don't speak English, for example, I understand Arabic, I'm going to select Arabic here. So in the future, all kinds of notification, alerts, whatever, it will play to me in Arabic. Absolutely. Okay. And about the char util H plus integration, I'm not going to talk about this today. Just making introduction. This char integration is actually a feature talking about the property management integration. Our system can support property management integration by char. So if some property management system we want to have a solution for vertical user, for hotel users, we can use this. Okay, but this is not part of our training today. Okay, so let's keep going. Now, keep going for the next part. The next part we have here for extension settings is called presence. Now, this presence is actually not a feature for this extension. This is a feature talking about the Linkus. Okay, because we're going to create an extension here, but don't forget we have Linkus UC application. So if you're going to set your Linkus UC application presence, here's the place you can define your system for it. So for the presence, you guys can see we can change our Linkus presence. So if you make any changes here, like available to away to do not disturb, then on your mobile client or your PC client, it will display like this. Okay. And a fancy feature we have is here. It sounds funny, right? It's called presence information. So you can drop something here to display people what you're trying to say. Like if I'm available, I prefer to show people, hey, what's up? So I can just put it here, and it will be displayed on my Linkus. Okay. And we can also define the call forwarding destination. So when no answer, when busy, you can choose different destinations. We have many options. You can send the call to voicemail, to other extension, to a mobile number, to a queue, to a ring group, to IVR, or a custom number, or just hang up. Okay. Next part, ring strategy. Because right now, like I said, we have IP phone on our desktop, we have Linkus in our pocket, and also a Linkus PC version on your computer. So we get a question is, how do we ring those terminals? So for ring strategy, you can choose which one would you like to ring it first. Like if I prefer to ring my Linkus mobile client first, then for extension, maybe not necessary because I don't have a hardware IP phone in my office. Then I can choose Linkus desktop client as the ring secondly. So if I get a call right now from internal user or external user, I would get a phone ring on my mobile first. Then if I didn't pick it up, I will get a phone ring on my computer. Okay. Now for the features. The next part for the features, this is just the features for this extension. So the first one is going to be the voicemail. Absolutely, very basic, very fundamental feature. We do support this. So by default setting, you guys will see is automatically enabled. Okay, and this is going to be the voicemail access pane. So if you're trying to check your voicemail by your extension, absolutely, you can dial the feature code. Then the system will ask for the pane, the password. So you can just enter 700 and 2, then you will be able to get your voicemail. But guess what, guys? If you're going to use Linkus on your mobile or on your computer, you don't have to do something like this. This is too complex. What you're going to do is, because that application, Linkus, is developed by Yeastar. So if you're going to check your voicemail on your mobile, you can just tap your screen. If we're going to check the voicemail on your computer, you just click on your mouse because there's a tiny button, there's an icon for your voicemail. Click on it, tap it, you will get it. Okay. Then we can also enable share voicemail status. Now this feature is actually talking about your IP phones. Absolutely, your hardware-based phones. So if you enable this feature, then you're going to be able to, you guys can see, set the value of your BF key of your IP phone. Absolutely, you need to make some customization on your hardware phone. So set this value of your BF key, make it as feature code of check voicemail plus the extension number. After that, you're going to be able to use your extension BF key to check the voicemail status. Then as for the status, there's a flashlight, BIF key light, so it will be indicated by that. But anyway, this feature is completely, you need to make customization on your phone. It's not on your PBX. On your PBX, you can just enable this, but simultaneously, you're going to need to enable this feature, make the customization on your IP phone. Okay. Next part, send voicemail to email. Still remember, if you're trying to use this feature, you can just enable this, and you can send to user email. So the user email is going to be here. This is going to be your user email. But if you don't want to use the user email, you can also send to a custom email. So drop a mailbox here. Okay. Another special feature on the extension setting here we have is the customization of your busy prompt and an unavailable prompt. So in the future, if you're occupied, so you prefer to absolutely system going to play the prompt to the caller right now. But if you prefer, you can absolutely make something customized. You know, for example, if I'm busy, I prefer to record something, something like, please call me later because right now I get a phone or something. Then I can just upload it here. So this is completely customized for you. Okay. And also another feature, guys, we have here is called mobility extension. But to be honest, this feature is very old-fashioned. The mobility extension, you know, because right now everyone have a smartphone, everyone has a computer, everyone has internet access. So if they want to have a mobility solution, they can just get Linkus UC application on their mobile, right? So they can just make it work like that. But if you don't have a Linkus application, you don't have a smartphone, you don't have internet access, probably you can use mobility extension the old-fashioned way, the old school style. Okay. So the mobility extension basically means if you enable this and also enable ring simultaneously. So it's kind of like if somebody make a call to you right now, but you know you're not in the office, right? So our PBX will also make another call on your mobile. So you need to send a mobile number. So the mobile number, you know, it's kind of like your PBX just make another call on your SIM card. Then you can just keep yourself be connected with this telephony system. So you won't miss a call from the customer. But just like I said, not very popular if we have Linkus. Okay. Next part, monitor settings. Now, our system can also support this feature. So for this extension, this very extension 7002, if I enable allow being monitored, then in the future, if this extension user has any kind of call, no matter this is an internal call or external call, it can be monitored by the third party. And the third party is actually another internal user. Okay, so this is allow being monitored. Now, probably we have a question right now is, how do we monitor others? Okay. Now, if we try to monitor other extensions, now, for example, if this is 7002, we want to make this user be available to monitor other people, other person's call. We can just change the monitor mode. Okay. So monitor mode here, we have extensive, listen, whisper, and barge in. Put your mouse on the blue bubble, you will see this is definition. So if you choose listen mode, you are actually muted, but you can hear whatever, everything the monitored person they're talking about. So that's listen mode. And if you choose whisper mode, you can you can actually listen to the conversation, and besides that, you can also talk to the specific person whom you're trying to monitor right now, and the third party can never hear your voice. But if you choose barge in, that's kind of like you just turn this private conversation to an open conversation, because whatever you say, both sides, they can hear you. Okay, and if you choose extensive, all these three modes are available for you. So as for how do we make use of this monitor mode, you know, there's a feature code. So we can just dial the feature code plus the specific extension number. You're ready to go for the monitor. Okay. Other settings we have here is ring timeout. Not a big deal, so it depends on you. How many seconds would you like to ring this extension if there's nobody pick it up? So this is ring timeout. And also we get a call, max call duration. So max call duration, if you enable this, for example, set it as 300 seconds. This feature will only work for the external calls, not for internal. So for internal calls, you're good. But for external calls, max call duration is just 300 seconds. And we can, oops, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, the bad connection. I just get myself disconnected. So let's get back here again. Okay, the last one of the features I'm going to talk about is send email notification when extension user password is changed. Enable this, you will get notified if somebody changed your user password. So it's just for a security mechanism. Okay, so this is about how to create an extension. All right, now that was how we create an extension. Like I said, how to create an extension. But the point is, this is S100. We probably need to create lots of extensions. We can actually click on Bulkhead. So you will be able to create multiple extensions. Okay. But Bulkhead extension, is kind of like we're going to use the system template to create multiple extensions automatically. So we don't support FXS. Because FXS is analog phone, you need to define the ports manually. Absolutely. So here we don't have FXS. But for other settings are completely as same as what we had before. So you can just set the start extension. This is going to be the first extension number you're going to create, and create numbers. So how many extensions are you going to create right now? And also you can define the concurrent registrations. So this is for SIP forking. How many devices would you like to register on the one same extension number? Okay. And for features, exactly the same thing. You can just make some customization here, and it will take effect for all of your extensions you're going to create here. Okay. And besides that, all of your configuration, whatever you've done there, don't forget to click on save. That's very important. Okay. That's very important to click on save. So for example, if you create one extension or multiple extensions, anyway, don't forget to click on save. Okay. And then on the right side corner here, we have apply button. So don't forget to click on that. That's very important, because if you never click on apply button, I'm sorry, all of your configuration or modification is not going to take effect. Okay. Besides that, we can also export a template. This is also supported. It's a CSV file. So if you have like 100 users or 300 users, you have lots of phones. So you can also export the template, and we're going to open this template, and we're going to, kind of like fill in the blanks, So template actually includes everything. So you just follow the, the items, fill in the blanks, then you're going to get back to your system, import it here. That's also how we create multiple extensions. And if we're going to use the template, exported template, we can add FXS extension, we can add a SIP extension, absolutely, because everything is customized by yourself. Okay, so this is about how do we create an extension. Now, next part I'm going to talk about is, let's talk about extension registration. Guys, today I'm not going to show you how to register IP phone on the system, because my live demo here, I don't have IP phone, but I will show you how to use Linkus. Okay. So if you got a brand new system, you click on main menu, you will find Linkus is already on your system. So you can just click on Linkus, turn it on. Okay. Now, like I said, Linkus UC application is on your mobile, on your computer, and absolutely you need to set Linkus server on your PBX. That's very interesting, because for Linkus server setting here, we give you guys two options. Option 1 is called Linkus Cloud Service. Option 2 is called Linkus Local Server. So the differences are very easy to figure out the difference. Let's have a look. To configure Linkus server, step 1 is enable Linkus server. This is step 1, very easy. Then you're going to make your choice. You can choose Linkus Cloud Service, or you can choose Linkus Local Server. So the difference is Linkus Cloud Service is a value-added service, which means it's not for free. It's annual subscription-based service, but you will have lots of benefits, guys. The first benefit you're going to have is, take a look at this. Enable Linkus Cloud Service, click here. Enable chat function for Linkus, click here. So click twice. That's exactly what you're going to do here. And as for configuration, not necessary, guys, because this is cloud service, which means right now your Linkus server is not based on your PBX. It's based on Yeastar Cloud server. So now all the configuration is pre-configured by our cloud server. That's exactly what will happen here. And besides that, because this is based on Yeastar Cloud, so all kind of connections, telecommunications, whatever you're going to do between your extensions, through your PBX anyway, it will be completely covered by the encrypted private tunnel. So this is also good for security. And besides that, like I said, we don't have to do anything for configuration. So we don't have to get a static IP. We don't have to make port forwarding. Not necessary. Not necessary. So for end users, this is very user friendly. And because everything's based on cloud, so the data service is also supported, which is the chatting function. And now with Linkus Cloud Service, you will be able to have instant message feature on your Linkus Mobile or Linkus PC. Okay. Okay, and besides that, guys, this Linkus Cloud Service, we also provide you a 30-day free trial. So you can start a 30-day free trial. You can have a test first. And if you're happy, if you're willing with this, you're good with this, you can just subscribe it. Okay, you can just buy service, subscribe it. And another option we have here is without Linkus Cloud Service. That's why we call this as a local server. You need to configure the server, the Linkus Linkus server on your PBX by yourself. Now, which basically means you need to set your local server, which is your local IP. And by default setting, the Linkus registration port is 8111. So the port forwarding is necessary. You need to map this 8111 on your public IP, which is on your router. So you need to get a static IP address, which is not for free, and you need to set port forwarding for 8111. That's a little bit complex. And you will also need to map another port, which is SIP UDP 5060, because we're using SIP protocol, right? So everything by SIP, we're going to use 5060. Besides that, we're also going to try to make a call. So SIP RTP 10,000 to 12,000. It's also necessary for you to make a port forwarding. So configuration is a little bit complex. And the data service is not available because your server is not on cloud. Your server is on your PBX. So you don't have instant message feature. Okay, then next step, just click on Linkus client setting here. Enable Linkus client for your user. And don't forget to set the email address for every single user. Because how do we enable this Linkus client for our user? Actually, it's by email. We're going to send the activation mail for every single user. And those users, they get this email, they will use this activation mail to log into their Linkus account. So this activation mail, we send them the login QR code for your mobile version. We also get a login link for your PC version. So that's very important. Okay. Then after that, our customers, our end users, extension users, they're going to simply just need to open their computer. They can just get our Linkus application like this, Linkus UC app, turn it on. That's exactly what they're going to do. Then just simply log in. For example, let me show you guys. Okay. Just wait a second, guys. Let me check the server information. I'm going to show you the live demo to log into this Linkus. Okay, there you go. Now, end users, they're going to be able to, get prepared for Linkus. So they log into their Linkus. They have call logs synchronized with their PBX, missed calls, check their internal users' presence, like here. What's more, the instant message feature will also be available. So they can start chatting with each other, share documents, start a group chat. Very convenient. And like I said, the voicemail or the recording, if they want to check it, they can just check it here. They can just play it here directly. They don't have to use the feature code. And besides that, the Linkus desktop, we can also support CRM integration. It's a very good solution for business collaboration. It's not just a soft phone solution, guys. It's a unified communication solution. You're going to have lots of, integrations, features. For the CRM integration on Linkus, we can support Salesforce, Dynamics 365, Outlook, and Google Contacts. And for the system, guys, for the PBX system, we can also support Zoho CRM and Sugar CRM integration. Okay, so this is about the Linkus. All right. Then the last part for today's webinar I'm going to talk about will be the auto provisioning. because for the IP phones registration, you can register them manually, absolutely, but you can also use our auto provisioning. So our auto provisioning, we can support lots of IP phones. In our auto provisioning feature, we support local network. So you can use our auto provisioning by local, local registration. Okay. Yeah, we got a question here about the recording. Yes, I think you guys can visit our website, get the recording. Okay, on our Yeastar website, you guys will have this recording. Okay, now let's get back here. So for the auto provisioning feature, make sure all of your IP phones and your system are configured in the same local network. Then click on scan, so you will automatically get all of your devices. And the next step is just choose the same model of the same manufacturer and click on edit. That's exactly what you're gonna do for the auto provisioning. For example, we have two IP phones are the same models like this. Then we can just click on edit. Okay, like this. So now just select your MAC address because it's two different devices. This is device 1, and we give an extension number. We click on add. Oops, this is, I'm going to select another one. Okay, sorry. Then we're going to give it a specific extension number. Click on add. Now we have these two extensions. Just click on save. Then we're going to have this pop out. Reboot your phone now. Confirm with that. Our IP phones will automatically start rebooting. After that, you're ready to go. You can just grab your extension, make a call. Okay, and if you cannot find your IP phones by scanning automatically, you can also add an IP phone by yourself. And about this auto provision, we can support lots of manufacturers' IP phones. We support A-Link, we support Tiptail, H-Tech, FanView, Grandstream, Cisco, Polycom. Anyway, all these phones are totally supported. So it's a pretty good solution. We have very good compatibility. Okay. All right. And by the way, guys, about the IP phones auto provisioning, one last thing I'm going to talk about here is all of our IP phones are support PMP, plug and play, for the auto provisioning, but some specific models are not supported. I think some models from Polycom and Cisco. Guys, be careful. Just some model, not all of them. I think you guys need to confirm with our document center. Visit our website. Okay, just some models. They're actually required for the DHCP mode for the auto provisioning, which means if you're configuring some models from Polycom or Cisco, you're going to need to set your PBX as the DHCP server. And simultaneously, you will need to disable the DHCP server on your router. So the configuration is here. Go for your PBX settings, click on system, and go for security. And click on service. Scrolling down a little bit here, we have enable DHCP server. So enable DHCP server and configure your DHCP server here. You can set anything, whatever you need, just set it here. Then you get back to auto provisioning. Those models can be auto provisioned by our auto provisioning. Okay. Now, once you register those phones successfully, it's pretty easy. You can just disable this DHCP server and re-enable the DHCP server on your router. Then everything will, work as normal. All right, guys. So I think that was all we have for today's webinar for the part 1. Thank you so much for your participation. Hopefully everything's clear. And once again, thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, you can let me know through the chatting panel. Guys, any questions? Okay, got a question here. We got a random question. What's the recommend limit of phones that should be set up per Yeastar device? Well, for the recommend what recommend limit of phones, what do you mean limited of phones? You mean like a phones provider, the brands of phones, right? Or you mean users? If you're talking about users, that's okay. So if you choose S50, you can have 50 users. Okay. For configuration Linkus by IP, we need to pay. Okay. Wait a second. We got another question, I think. For configuration Linkus by IP, we need to pay. For Linkus, actually, two options. If you choose Linkus Cloud Service, you need to pay for that. Okay. That's a value-added service. If you choose Linkus without cloud service, that's for free. You can set it by yourself. Ah, I see. You mean how many phones where users can be managed by Yeastar before service where performance starts to drop? Good question. You know, our system, we set users as like this as 100. We set the user numbers as 100. That basically means you can have 100 users with no doubt. That's totally okay. The system is capable for 100 users. Because actually, you know, the system is capable for more users, but we just set it as 100, make the system be very stable. So you want to know the limitation. The limitation is the figure we provide to you guys. The S100 is just 100 users. If you want to change the capacity, the S100 can handle 200 users. You can use the module for the system expansion, but you will buy additional device, which is the D30 module. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, for service CRM, we pay for the service. Okay, the CRM integration, okay, the CRM integration for your Linkus, it's for free. So you get a Linkus application on your computer, like Salesforce, like Dynamics 365. For the integration is for free, but CRM is not for free because CRM is the third party. You know, Salesforce, they're not going to provide you free service. So you need to pay for that. Okay. And about the Zoho integration I mentioned before, for the system, like this, on your PBX, we can support Zoho integration. Now, the Zoho integration is not for free, but we have a license, which means the license for free. I'm sorry, guys, it's a little bit confused. Let me just clarify this. The Zoho integration on our PBX, we need you guys to apply for the license, but that license is not for it's not charged. It's a free license, but you need to submit your request to our sales department, to our sales app representative. Then we're gonna help you to activate this feature. Okay, is that clear? What do you mean no all? It's clear or not clear? Guys, I'm a little bit confused about this. Okay. Not clear? Okay. For the CRM, okay, let me just clarify this. For the CRM integration, it's for free. But for CRM, it's not for free because CRM is provided by the third party. You know what I'm saying? Like a Salesforce, like a Dynamics 365, they're gonna charge you. But for the integration, okay, I mean the integration, okay, integration with Yeastar, this is for free. Is that clear? Okay, good. All right, guys, any other questions? Okay. All right, guys. So guess that was all we have for today's webinar. And once again, thank you so much for your participation. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. Now for the video, okay, you guys can find this video on our website, www.yeastar.com. This is available. All the training videos available on our website. You can get from there, okay? And once again, have a nice day, guys. Take care. I will see you guys tomorrow.